Hello, this is Cindy from Cinders Papercraft, and I am bringing you card 2 of my fun fold or 3D cards. I'm going to do 7 that I know of, and if I think of any more, there'll be more along. So this is, I've got another 2 that I'm going to do with you, but in varying different degrees of having them finished, but this one is finished. So when I originally done this, I could not find my clear nylon thread anywhere for love nor money. I have 2 big carry cases full of threads and I couldn't find any, and I also couldn't find my silver, so I had to go with gold here, which wouldn't be my choice. I would have used silver. These are actually done with white pigment ink. You can either use the Whisper White ink or Heroes Hues, the unicorn white. And also, if you Dovecraft do a white pigment that I have used in the past, and I've done a comparison recently with the unicorn white, the Whisper White and the Dovecraft white. And they all have their own sort of pros and cons. The Dovecraft, I know they have at everything's a pound.co.uk. No, every craft is a pound, and you can pick one of those up for £1. So there are definite benefits for that. If you don't have one and you can't stretch for a lot of different inks, I would go with that. This is beautiful. I absolutely adore this. So what I done was I have a layer, a black card layer, and all as I done was I put the Whisper White or the unicorn white around there. I think I used the unicorn. There's very little difference, so I think they must be manufactured by the same people. And if you look, it isn't perfect, but then if it was perfect, it wouldn't match with those. All I wanted to do was just to break up that black, and then the stars were from here. It is that one there and the small one there. This is a beautiful stamp set. It's absolutely beautiful. I've used that so much. The snowman is from here, the seasonal chums, and the what are they called, the seasonal tags. These are amazing. I absolutely love them. And I'm also going to be doing one with this bear. Who doesn't love that bear? Unbearably cute. And these are fantastic to use as spinners because they're specifically made to be folded together and put here. So anyway, oh, there's the vellum case that I used. I actually heat embossed white with that one, and then all you need to do is put a tag on the back and then you can write it. Nice and simple, and I think it's ever so sweet. When you put it in there, you would then tie that up, and there you are. It's kind of cute. So I'm not going to be able to show you this properly because you need to be able to gravity, but I will try and give it a go. And because this has gone a bit floppy, because you do need the nylon to make it more rigid. But the thing is, you know what they say about little things amuse little minds? Well, the reason this is so floppy is because I haven't stopped playing with it. So then in the centre, all I've done is I have put that on so that that is like a proper background. And then I have just bent some, not bent, curved. So, what are they called? Photopolymer stamps, because you can, the clear ones, you can actually bend them. And I just put that going round. and then on the back that's where you would write your message. Right, I mean, you can always just put a white piece there and write it on. It would look lovely, but you see this has got decidedly floppy, and I know it's because I keep playing with it. Right, so let's stop, because you don't want to see me spinning a snowman. And that is such a bizarre thing to ever put in a sentence. Right, so let me show you what we will be doing. So I've got 2. Now, as with a video I've just done, I wanted to have the stamps matching the background, and I put on a gold, what do you call it? It's gold paper, mirror paper, and it just didn't look right. So all I've done was I put some Versamark around the edges, just pop the powder on and then heat embossed it, and I think that looks really nice. It probably doesn't come across, but it really does look nice in natural light. And I have already die cut that out, and then I will just stick that on and we'll deal with that. And I'm going to use the cute little reindeer that was out of the seasonal Chums, and this one is a little wild, and I just dropped some liquid on there, so that was really helpful. All as I do is, when it's actually done, is I'll just put a sentiment on a tag or just a strip across and redo that. It's always going to be the way just before you go on. And I'm actually going to die cut that out, and then we're going to do that. So let's start with this one. So you either can have white star or gold star, silver star, any kind you like. And I do actually like this white pigment ink. I think it's really nice. But anyway, what we are going to do is, before we stick this down, we have to put our nylon string. Now that is 200 meters, and I got that off Amazon, and I think it was about £3.40. So it is not expensive. You can always use, if your husband or your son or anyone goes fishing, fishing line is just as good. You can use the metallic threads. Just make sure you don't sit there playing with them like I did. What can I say? Give me anything sparkly or something that I can fiddle with, and I'm in heaven. Right, so all as you'll do on your cardstock, it's regular cardstock. It doesn't need to be a certain size. Just do it in the size that you usually do it in. I think the USA and Canada do 4 1/4 by 5.5, and we do 4 1/8 by just over 5 3/4. Right, so you will get your invisible thread, which, if I don't keep hold of it, I will not be able to find it. Because it really is difficult to see. Right, let me remove that, because that is very distracting. So I'm going to push that into some double-sided tape. You can use that, or a dimension, not a dimensional, because you don't want a dimensional, or a glue dot. Just make sure whatever you use is super strong, because you do not want that coming up, otherwise it's kind of ruined it'll be. Right, and I'm just going to put some over the top. It probably doesn't need it, but I just think a little bit of caution goes a long way. Right, so now we are going to take those bits off. Getting double-sided tape off of double-sided tape is very interesting. Right, so this is only going to go on one way because it is going to go that way then, is it? Yes. So I'm going to put some wet glue on here. It's just so that gives me a little bit of what I call my wiggle room. Tombow does fine. I know that some people have the magic ability just to throw a layering card of piece of cardstock and it just goes together magically. That's not a gene I possess. I have the everything's kind of crooked gene. See? Not invisible. Let me move that out of the way because that's what ends up driving me crazy. Right, so now our piece there. You see, what I'm going to show you how to do properly on the next one is what we should have done first is line this up literally like that and push it down and then open it. But me being the silly thing that I am, forgot that step. Honestly, you'd be bored if I'd done things perfectly, wouldn't you? Better say no, we would just be really impressed. Right, so that is going to go there. I did put some glue on that, but I'm just going to put some more on because I only put a bit in the middle to make it stick, and because I'm not doing this the right way, I now have to do it that. But I'll show you how you're supposed to do it properly with the next one. Right, so now this one is already kind of designed to go on there. All I'm going to do is snip a bit more of that away and then I can literally slide it on and we're done. If you don't have these, you can easily just stamp something out in a circle or fussy cut. And these have the backs on as well, which is absolutely fantastic because when it spins, you can see their little buttons. But if you don't have one, just die cut two out, and you can either do mirror stamping. I've got a tutorial on that. If you don't want to do that, literally just cut out a plain back one and stick it on. That is nice and simple. So I'm just going to pop some glue on there, and we are going to open that up, get that where we want it to be, and I think right in the middle. And I should have put tape on there because that glue's not holding it strong enough until it sets. Right, so let's give that a go. Trouble is, I design these cards in my head and then I do them and then I kind of not forget how I do them, but I miss some of the easy steps. Right, so take two. I'm going to get that all lined up properly. Take your time with this. There. How sweet. All you'll do is try not to play with it too much when it's wet. Try not to play with it too much. and then when you give it out to someone, they're going to open it up and it's going to spin. That's cute, isn't it? Do we think that's cute? Right. So you don't need any special card sizes. You don't need any special dies. What I would say you would need is a die shape of whatever you have. If you have an oval, if you have a circle. I like ovals simply because we're going on to a non-square cardstock. If you go on to square cardstock where you do a 4x4, 5x5 or 6x6, you will simply need to use a square or a circle. It's completely up to you. There's no right or wrong way. You can use a fancy scallop oval, and then all you do is you will do that, pop it in an envelope, and I have to do the back. And I had my piece of card. There won't be 1 second. Not that one. Oh. And I need that one. Right. So we are going to use the Flurry of Wishes, which I absolutely love. And I thought I had that out on a stamp block. Yes, I do. Oh dear, oh dear. Right. So all as I done was with the deer was to stamp it in Memento and then colour it in with my alcohol markers. Now I don't have the Stampin' Up markers. I have 2 cases of alcohol markers. Wow, it's a Touch 5 set or something along the same lines. I actually got that about 2 weeks before they announced that they were coming out with alcohol markers, and I love mine too much. I'm not going to buy the Stampin' Up ones. I do a lot of complex colouring, so I tend to need a medium as well. But alcohol markers are a dream to work with, an absolute dream. Right, now before I give out cards, I stamp the inside. I like the inside and the outside of the envelopes. I like to stamp the envelopes because we can spend so long making these beautiful cards. Should have done snowflakes on that, but hey ho. Right, yes, so I make sure I decorate mine up. Simple and easy and really cute. Right, so there are those ones. I might have to take Frosty off and redo him, but yes. So they're going to open it up and whee! How cute is that? Such a child. Right, now then. So the next one we're going to do is the gorgeous bear. Now, I am going to just pop a tiny bit of tape runner on, snail, and get glue everywhere. So you're going to see my hands shaking again in a minute. Just ignore them, please. We only want a temporary tack. There you are. And then I'm just going to die cut that there, which I'll do now. So if you didn't see earlier, oh, I can show you the inside of that now. This is the one I done earlier, and that was just how I finished it inside, because you never get to see that, but I do actually do the insides. and the envelopes. Right, so back to the one we're working on. Right, I think that looks good. There we go. Ooh. Poor bees. Right. Now. Here we go. I should actually, while I'm on here, is show you how I do my envelopes as well. But to be honest, I kind of want to get you to see the bit that maybe you don't know how to do, whereas an envelope you can stamp up easily. Right, so this is really difficult to see. Have I cut that off? Nope. Oh, there it is. Oh, is it? Goodness me, that really is very fine clear thread. Right, let's move some of this stuff out of the way. Let's have a neat work surface in for a change. Right. Right, so as you know, because that didn't stick. Oh, where has that gone now? Wow. That truly is invisible thread. I know they call it that, but heck. Right. I'm keeping hold of it. Oh, look, I've got ink underneath my nail. Been cleaning. Right. Stick it on there and don't let go. Right. So, as you know, my name is Cindy, and that was what I was christened as. And no, see, how many of you are thinking she's gonna do it again? Right, now we are temporarily lightly going to just pop that down, but we are going to remove that first, and we are going to cover this in glue. See, monkeys can learn. Right, so that is about where I want it, and then through the centre, that's roughly it. Right, and then we can lift that up, we can take that off. Ooh. See, don't take your tape off before you do that. Oh dear. Do you know, off camera I'm actually not too bad. I can craft, you know. Right, I've forgotten what I was saying now. Right, so we are just going to make sure this is nice and stuck down. And if I find that that isn't correcting itself, I will run it through the embossing, the die cut machine, sorry. Just make sure that all lines up. That's a good way of... Did that just pull out? Yes, it did. Little sod. Honestly. And now I've lost it. Oh, God. Right. So if you decide to use really big thick wool because you can't see the thingy, I completely understand. Because get in there. Why is that not sticking? Stay. Just stay. Right. See, I showed it who was boss. That would be the nylon thread. Oh, and now I'm knocking that. Right, so make sure you line that up. Honestly, it's been one of those days. And I can't remember again what I was talking about. Right, now let's get rid of this pesky clear tape. Not clear tape, clear thread. God, I tell you, that really is. I think the crafting gods are mocking me today. Right. So, I hope I wasn't telling you anything really important. Goodness knows. Anyhow, moving on. Oh. So, I'm going to stick that on there, and I actually do want that to stick on that piece there. Don't you break that thread. Oh my God, can you see that? If you decide not to use clear thread, I completely understand why, because it's blooming horrible stuff. Right, stay. Do you know, if I wasn't so understanding of my stupidness, I would reshoot this and pretend that it went absolutely perfectly and I'm a great crafter. However, I'm an okay crafter and we all make mistakes, and my mistake was buying this horror. It's come out now. Oh my goodness. If metallic thread wasn't quite so stretchy, I would go with that. Right. Trouble is, it's such a fine thread. So, when you're working with this thread, you're probably a lot more smarter than I am. Ah, that's the way I should have done it. That way. I wonder if I can find a thicker ribbon. Right. Yeah, it's a good job I don't take myself too seriously, isn't it? Right, so where is this horrible stuff? Do you know, I'm so tempted to throw this out the window right now. Right, so I'm going to make that really, really long. I mean, like seriously long. So that I got like 20 inches either end. Right. So there's a tip. Make it about 3 foot long. Right, now in all seriousness, that does need to be straight. Right. Right. Let's try this again. And I swear, if anything goes wrong this time, I am reshooting this video. Well, it's not moving this time, is it? I beat it. I showed it who's boss. Right, so I will run that through the Big Shot to flatten that, although I think that held up pretty well. Yes, it's still there. Oh dear, oh dear. Right, so now let's not pull this out. Right, I want that there. And is that going to be straight? Actually, I think that's kind of cute, him being on a, because that will spin properly. Yes. Oh, thank goodness for that. Right, so I wind that up. I'm not cutting these threads off, you know, until I'm actually finished. No, you see, I think he does need to be straight now. I bet you're thinking, why is she doing that? Don't move it. I probably shouldn't have. Right. Let's glue this into submission. Right. So please believe me when I say it isn't actually that hard to do. Isn't. That's just it. It really genuinely isn't. I just have the most amazing ability to make everything look so difficult. Right, where is the rest of that? Oh, for goodness sake. Right. Sorry, I keep going off camera. I'm not going to fiddle with that anymore because I actually like the way he spins. So let's wind him up. I'm doing it again. I'm really sorry if I keep taking this off center. Do try not to. It's just been one of those days. Right, so there you go. And you could have done in blue or pink for a new baby, but I just done it neutral. So when they open it up, it spins. And I hope they realise how much hard work went into that one. Right, so now I could decide that I'm going to reshoot this and then you'll never know what a klutz I was. But I honestly do think that if we demonstrate something, we should actually show you what to do when it goes wrong. And not to give up, because I could so easily have just given up and redone it from the beginning. But then someone else might be able to learn from just one of my mistakes. And I make many, so I could be teaching a lot of people. So anyway, there are my spinner cards. If you've got a metallic thread that doesn't pull or fray, for the love of goodness, use it. Because this thread came directly from somewhere nasty. Right, so there we go. I really do enjoy making these, all teasing aside. I know I made that look hard, but it really isn't. It's my ability to be able to see and move my hands. It seems to be not in coordination today, but they are fun to make and they're ever so sweet, and I do actually really enjoy making these. So I do hope you'll have a go. They really are very sweet, and I think they'll make lovely gifts, and you've got to admit they do look very sweet. So I do hope you'll give one of them a go. You can use any of these. If you do go with these, you can order them in my shop, but if you do go with them, they've got the backs, literally the back side. But if you haven't got these, because we're not all got bottomless pits for, you know, pockets, you can always stamp it, then reverse stamp it, and then just glue them together, and then you've got a back and a front, or you can just have a plain back. Anyone can make these. Right, so I will upload this now as number 2, and probably the most trying I'm going to have today. And I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you get the point that just don't give up. It doesn't always go perfectly, as I seem to display on every single video. But it's fun. It is great fun, and it keeps me amused for hours. So I hope you give it a go. Thank you very much for spending 37.2 minutes with me, and it really won't take you that long. Right, well, I will say goodbye for now, and I will see you shortly in the next installment. Thank you for now. Bye bye.